What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Man Bites Film, episode 105.
105! Bitches!
Damn, it's been, it's crazy. Every time I say the number, I'm like, it's already been more than a month since our 100th episode. That's pretty crazy.
I know.
Right?
It's already been, 2 months since quarantine?
Episode 350, because we're going to make episode 350 all about the Loch Ness Monster.
350. Quarantine started
March?
Like mid-March?
The Monday of St. Patty's Day a week.
So first week of March.
Like the 16th, 17th of March is when it all started.
Okay.
Some shit like that.
Yeah, so
16th of March is when the
we're 2 months in.
Quarantine.
It's been a while, like I'm already debating if I should give myself a haircut. It's pretty wild, dude.
I don't have that problem.
As of this recording, I am 2 days away from being in quarantine for 70 fucking days.
Damn.
Dude, it's
with a 0.
It's insane. Before I introduce everybody, because I know I haven't done that, quarantine just felt so weird to me. Like some days it feels like an eternity since I last worked, and then like I actually think about it, I'm like, bro, it's only been like 2 months. Like that's not a long time.
Bro, you guys are lucky. You guys don't have to work. I still have to work.
No, I work from home, and I hate it because I don't know. It's everything is so fucking disorganized, and you have to fucking communicate through email, and just people are.
I love it
sucky.
that I don't have to talk to my boss, or I don't have to talk to any of these people. I don't have to go to these useless meetings. And
I don't want to
could fart whenever I feel like farting.
It hasn't been long enough.
So the man that hates meetings is Lewis, of course.
I hate meetings. And hello, everybody.
And the man that is somewhere in the ruralist, I know that's not a word, part of the United States, Mr. William Phoenix.
Yo, I am still here. I may not be fully sane, but I'm still here.
Oh, when were you ever sane? Come on, let's be honest.
Very true. Dude, I feel like also you're staying in the craziest house, William, because, we video chatted, and I feel like Samara's mom's house has, like, all these, like, nooks and crannies where you can just go and kind of, like, hide.
Right?
Yeah, you know what else hides good in this house?
What?
Squirrels?
6 motherfucking flying squirrels! That's what hides in this house.
Okay, so for the listeners, again, sorry, I know you William sent us a picture of a flying squirrel. I thought there was one. Not 6.
No, there were 6.
What? Shit.
So,
collecting Rocky and
4 of them. So, when we found the first one, or when the first one popped out, imagine a square room. And at the top of the room, there is a wooden frame that goes around the room, but it sticks out. So, it's kind of like almost like logs sticking out. And at one point, my girlfriend looked up, and there was a squirrel just looking down at her. Like,
that's
what's
cute.
up? What are you doing?
Hello, Clarice.
Right? I went like, that's adorable. Let's pet it. And I named it Perry. Perry from a 1947 movie from Walt Disney that was like, when they were doing like the movies that looked like they were documentaries, but they were actually like storylines or whatever, they had one called Perry. So I called it Perry.
I legit thought you named him Perry because of and I know it's not the same animal. If you guys have ever seen Phineas and Ferb, Perry the platypus.
Which I knew, like, people would be like, it's not a platypus. I'm like, educate yourself, you ignorant klutz.
I would have called it P3, but sure.
So we called the exterminator, and he put a live trap outside the house where he thought the entrance was, so that
don't
they
kill the
No.
bastards.
No. This wasn't a death trap. It was a live trap.
Oh, okay.
So they would get caught in there, but they couldn't escape, and then he just relocates them. Well,
they need a better name then instead of exterminators, because
I know.
I think exterminator, I think like Terminator.
And I was the same way, because the moment they dropped the E word on me, I'm like, I'm going to catch them, and I'm going to release them myself one by one. Because at the time, I thought there was one. The exterminator the next day is like, I emptied out the cage, I relocated them, there were 4 of them in there. We're like, Jesus Christ. Samara comes back in her room, screams, runs out. And I'm like, what's up? She goes, there's another one in there. I'm like, well, fuck. So I spend a good 45 minutes chasing his ass. Finally catch him. Brought him out.
Record these things.
Downpouring at this point, right? And we're sitting on like, I don't know, at least like 10 acres of fucking land, right? So I walk in the rain in my boxers holding a pair of my boxers.
What a sight, dude! What a sight!
Right? You're welcome for this visual. You're very welcome.
Those come out, they start off loose, and then they're nut huggers.
Release him, and when I open the hand, he kind of looks at me, kind of like, "All right, we played a good game. You won. Sucks to be me, but here I go." And he ran off, and I pet him a little bit. I'm like, "I'm gonna miss you, Perry. Have a nice day." I come back and I'm all triumphant and I'm like, pa-pa-da-pa, we're done.
There's another one.
Tamara goes upstairs into her room. You hear her bolting out the room going, fuck this. And I'm like, what? She goes, there's another one. I'm like, you're delusional. Stop doing drugs. And she doesn't. For the record, my girlfriend doesn't do drugs. So I come upstairs and I look around the room, not a fucking thing in sight. And I'm like, maybe she does do drugs and wouldn't tell me. Spread the wealth.
Pink elephants.
So I'm sitting there on my phone. Literally, imagine you're looking up. You look down at your phone real quick and look up. Literally in 2 seconds, there's another one, a little bit bigger, eating a nut. Kind of like, what's up? This is my room now. What you going to do about it? So another 25, 30 minutes, caught him with a T-shirt this time. And I found the point of entrance, though, which was good, because then I stuffed the shirt in there for the time being. And today I finally got some steel wool and closed out the entrance. And we have been free for 3 days now. So, yeah, that was fun. But they are really soft.
Yeah.
And this thing was literally like more scared than anything. And her mom, justifiably so, was like, I can't believe you caught him with your bare hands. They carry rabies and they carry things. I'm like, I get it and I understand it, and I'm not like, they're
not gonna bite you unless you're gonna like hurt them.
This guy was like running away and he was scared and he was like I've seen animals that carry rabies or have rabies, and it's like, no, this dude just wanted to get the fuck away from me. Trust me. Kind of like my ex-wife. So, but yeah.
On that note,
but I have to say though, I will say this: one thing that makes me really proud. I am 40 years old. I am definitely out of shape. My knees are pretty much on the shot level. And I outplayed and outsmarted and outmaneuvered not one, but 2 flying squirrels in the same night.
So everybody listening, give a round of applause to William. He has become
one for the senior citizen of the...
He's become the squirrel whisperer. As always, if you are joining us for the first time, or the 105th time, we are a weekly movie podcast where we talk about the movie bucket list. We review one movie altogether. We have Spiel Binge. And, of course, we end out the show with our 3 individual reviews. So, Will, bestow us with these wonderful movies from these sexy aliens.
Okay, so I'm gonna give. I know that since we're on the list or on the on the train of beautiful visuals. I'm gonna give Lewis a chubby.
A chubby.
Yeah,
God, never say my cousin's name and a chubby in the same sentence. That is the most vile shit I ever thought about.
So I almost said I am reviewing. No, the bucket list movie for this week is a 1954 foreign movie.
Ooh.
Yeah, see, there it is already.
That's gonna be a negative for me, Captain. I'm out. Eject.
Seven
abort.
Samurai.
See, I don't need to go any further than that. I really don't, which is great because I butcher names and I hate butchering names. But I mean, Akira Kurosawa, we've heard so many times that it just like flows off the tip of your tongue.
Toshiro Mifune. Yes, It is the glorious man himself.
Yep, there you go.
There's 2 types of Japanese people. One skinny, nerdy pocket protector, and then the big brawler, the Toshiro Mifune.
I love these brawlers. Dude.
I love this fucking movie.
I have a friend of mine, speaking of like how you describe Japanese people right now. I have a friend that lived in Japan for 2 years. She was teaching English, and she literally told me, she's like, dude, if you're fat, Japanese people will literally come up to you, poke your stomach, and be like, what's wrong with you? And they will literally like make fun of you.
Actually, we have a cousin in Japan.
We do?
Yeah, Danny.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
He moved to Japan to teach English.
Oh, he's doing the same thing. Okay.
Yeah.
I would love to do that, but it sounds like a scary experience.
I don't know about that, unless you're next to a nuclear power plant.
No, in the sense of like, dude, like not only are you like away, but like you're in a completely different country where you don't speak their language, you don't know their culture or their customs.
I have no idea what that feels like.
Okay, so let's go back to Seven Samurai.
So back to Seven Samurai, 1954. It's a 3.5-hour movie, so it's basically like the length of Endgame, just not as good because it's not in color.
Did you mute him?
No. I should have.
Dude, because like your laughter cut out, and I was like, damn, Lewis just muted his ass for saying that comment.
My chubby is down. It's down.
No, technically it is
3 inches. It's back to 1.
It is technically longer than Endgame, because I think Endgame is like literally barely like 3 hours, maybe 3 hours and 1 minute.
For real, I thought you were talking about his chubby, and I'm like, how do you know if it's longer one way or the other? But I'm not even gonna worry about that right now.
No, I'm saying
All
Seven
I have
Samurai
to say
is
candlelit blowjobs.
Hey, Seven Samurai. We haven't done that for a while. Seven Samurai is what? How long is it?
3 hours, 27 minutes.
Yeah, it's 3.5 hours. But you don't feel it, dude. Have you seen this, William?
It's been a long time. The last time I saw it was with my dad. So
this movie.
The last time I sat down,
Real random.
Teens. So it's been well over 20 years since I've seen the movie.
Wow.
Lewis, do you still have the Criterion?
Yes.
Do they have this on the Criterion?
On the channel? Service? Yes, they do. So this is currently streaming on Criterion. Most of the Kurosawa films are on Criterion channel, including Aikido, Ran, and Hidden Fortress. They're all on Ran.
I know it's Ran.
But no, Seven Samurai, dude. Seven Samurai has this special place in my heart because this is honestly one of the first films that not just my dad took me to watch, but my grandfather actually went with us to the theater at Gable Cinema.
Wow, so this must have been
97.
Holy shit.
97, because they were doing a Kurosawa like marathon for like almost 3 months. So we went to see Seven Samurai, and then I forced my dad to make me go watch Ran, and then that's actually where I first saw Dreams, which is another glorious film.
Yes, I know you love that movie.
I really, really do. But Seven Samurai, it's basically, if you've seen The Magnificent Seven, that's where the plot was stolen from. It was actually originally Seven Samurai, and most of the westerns, the spaghetti westerns, were based on Kurosawa films. Rashomon and Yojimbo were both redone by Sergio Leone in spaghetti westerns because he was obsessed with Kurosawa. Yeah, and I
do love the fact that they recently redid The Magnificent Seven, but they don't touch the Seven Samurais.
No, you can't touch it. This is literally cemented in
film history. Yeah,
also, The Magnificent Seven is like an hour and a half. Almost an hour and a half shorter.
I'm pretty sure this is like one of the most culturally like important films of all time.
It's been remade 5 times. Redone
like
in different formats.
I was actually on the Wikipedia article for Seventh Samurai, and like their legacy,
Kurosawa's son did an animated version. I think it's called Seven.
You brought it up last week on your review of A New Hope, that it says several elements from the Seven Samurai also argued to have been adapted to Star Wars. There's a Clone War episode that pays homage to it.
Even Rogue One. I mean, that scene with the blind swordsman. Yeah, that's straight from Kurosawa. That's straight from Seven Samurai. And I love this movie because of Toshiro Mifune. Toshiro Mifune holds this film. Like, if it wasn't for his acting and his character in this film, it probably would have been like an 8.5, 7 type of thing.
So this is like a 10, I'm assuming, for you, right?
This is a fucking 10. This is on my top 50 movies of all time. It is a must watch. It is something that if you are into samurai films, if you're into Shakespearean stories, if you're into any type of action-based movie, because yes, it's 3.5 hours long, it doesn't feel like 3.5 hours. You really don't feel this. It's great. You could actually see the influences throughout film history. Like this, I mean, there's a fucking score of movies that have been influenced by this because of the film styles, the camera angles that are done for action sequences. There's a oneer in this film that I think it's like almost 22 minutes long, and it's a oneer, which is basically, for anybody that doesn't know, it's one straight shot, no cuts. And
how long is it?
It's 20 minutes long.
Jesus Christ.
And it is actually, it goes through Toshiro Mifune walking up to horses, the horses galloping off, the camera galloping with the horses, and then landing into a village, and then meeting like about 7 or 8 main actors all in one shot. It is fucking glorious.
Really random. I remembered it. What is that movie by Akira Kurosawa that takes place like in Japan about the cover of the movie? Somebody like on a swing set.
Ikiru.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ikiru. Okay.
That's actually Greg Srisavasdi's favorite film of Kurosawa, and one of his top 10s. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've never seen it, but I've heard many good things about it. So
it is very interesting. Like this, it's one of those that it's kind of like you ever seen Lost in Translation?
Yes.
That is kind of that self-reflecting, what did I do with my life kind of thing. It's that kind of film. Okay. And it is very interesting. It reminds me a lot of like, say, like a Citizen Kane, Lost in Translation, those type of movies. They're introspective. I'm
going to be quite honest with you. I've seen some of Kurosawa's films like Seven Samurai, Hidden Fortress, Ron, but there are others that I haven't seen. I haven't seen Dreams. I haven't seen Yojimbo, or what's the other one? Rashomon.
Yeah.
You know, the really
the
like
important trilogy.
The Samurai trilogy. I haven't seen some of those, and I know that they're very, very good. So
they really are. And then he has like, I think in his filmography, he has like about 50 movies, and Redbeard is another really fucking good one. That one's really good, and that's another Toshiro Mifune film.
Because they were like hand in hand, right? Like they worked.
Yeah, they became Toshiro Mifune became a household name because of Kurosawa.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
And honestly, I love the acting in this. They build these characters where you want more. You want more of these characters, and you have like these uppity samurais, all 6 of them, and then you get the last samurai, which isn't a samurai. He's literally a peasant that worships the ground that these samurais stand on, and he found a sword. So he carries this sword, he looks like a fucking pirate. Like he just carries a sword over his shoulder and just walks around like it's all good, there's no care in the world. There's no finesse to it. And all these other ones are like, no, you're not a samurai. You're just some scumbag that wants to be a samurai. And then
they've even adapted this into like an anime, Samurai 7. Like that
was actually done by Kurosawa's son.
Was it?
Yes.
Toshifumi Takizawa, is that his son?
That's his son.
Interesting.
Yeah. And that's his pen name because he refused to use the name Kurosawa to get anywhere ahead.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
But also, I just love that kind of like pirate-esque feel there is to it, because it is that redemption story. It's that feeling of like, oh, this guy, he's worthless in all these people's eyes, including the villagers, because they all think he's the town drunk type of thing, and he's the one that ends up becoming the savior. He's the one that becomes that character, that trope character, very much like Harrison Ford did with Han Solo. That kind of swashbuckler.
Swashbuckler.
Yeah, that. Sorry.
Yeah, that
I
worked.
completely refed out on that one.
I would like to thank the listeners for tuning into my segment. I mean that very jokingly. I knew the moment I picked this movie that I'm like, I'm just going to give Lewis the reins on this, because the moment I mention Kurosawa or I mention Seven Samurai, he's going to hit the ground running, and I'm okay with that because you do it a lot more justice. You have a lot more passion about this movie
I
than
agree.
I do. So that's why I'm obviously like not sitting here going, yo, do you mind if I get a word in? Because nothing I say can compare to just how passionate you are about this movie, which I'm going to go out on a limb and say that you believe it belongs on a bucket list, but that's just me speculating.
Yeah, this is definitely like a top 10 on the bucket
Yeah,
list.
this definitely, for what it's done for film and for Japanese film, yeah, this definitely deserves to be top 20 at least. At least.
William, how about you?
Oh, it definitely belongs on here, and I'm with Lewis. I'm with Brandon on that. Top 20. It is a classic. It has been redone, and like I said, I haven't seen it in well over 20 years, but it's still like I remember some scenes very vividly. So when movies like that just set precedents to so many inspirations. So many, like Brandon was like, oh yeah, there's episodes of Star Wars, Clone Wars, which pay homage to this. It's like when something like that now, like what was this movie? 1947?
No. I'll tell you right now.
1950 something.
Wait, I'll tell you right now.
1954.
1954. So it's like what, like 76 years later?
That's 10 years after World War II. Can you imagine that? Just think about that.
Right?
This is 10 years after World War II.
We're still talking about it, and it's still creating, generating people talking about it. I mean, yes, it absolutely belongs, and obviously in a positive way, because there's a lot of movies that still generate people talking about it, but it's like, can we not talk about this? Because it's, we don't need
you guys remember, I don't remember when, but we reviewed Hidden Fortress a while back, and that movie was fucking great.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't use the Criterion channel enough, and there's definitely some hidden gems that I haven't come across or seen.
Pun intended.
So
Kurosawa is my favorite. It's my second favorite director of all time, besides Kubrick, obviously.
Really? I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
The more you know. So it is a unanimous vote that Seven Samurai deserves to be on the top 100.
Woohoo!
Woo! So check it out. I guess if you either have to buy the movie or pay for the Criterion channel, which I don't know how much that is.
It's $11.99.
$11.99. What a weird ass number, but okay. Let's go with it, baby. On that note, stay tuned at this quick break when we come at you live with the main segment of our show, the main review, William's choice, The Hangman. Or Hangman. Is it The
Hangman.
Hangman. Thank you. The Hangman. It's Hangman.
Welcome to an exploration of sight and mind, a travel through the world of films and the artists that bring you these masterpieces. Do you love films, directors, actors, cinematographers, editors, composers, or any of the hundreds of artists that bring you these feats of art? I am Luislacau, your host into the world of films, your guide to Man Bites Retro.
All right, guys, welcome back for the main segment of our show, the main review, William's choice, Hangman, starring Al Pacino, thank you, and Carl Urban. That's pretty much it. I guess Sarah how do you say her name? Sarah what?
Shahi?
What's the other girl's name? Brittany Snow. Thank you. That's the blonde girl.
I mean, Brittany Snow, Joe Anderson also, who plays the Hangman.
Dude, so when he came out in the movie, I was like, bro, I know this guy from somewhere. Where do I know him from? And I looked up his filmography. Bro, I remember him from Across the Universe.
Yep. Same.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my god, that's who it is. But so back to Hangman. Hangman is basically a crime.
He's in a horror movie, The Crazies, right?
No, you're thinking of Timothy Oliphant.
Oh yeah, no, but Anderson's in Crazy as well.
He is?
Yeah.
Wait, let me see.
That's where I recognize him
Oh
from.
yeah,
I
Russell
forgot.
Clank. Russell Clank.
You'll never believe me. What the fuck?
What?
I said no. He's also in Horns with Daniel Radcliffe.
I didn't know that.
That's funny.
So, Hangman is a crime thriller starring Al Pacino and Carl Urban. They're both these detectives that basically start going after this serial killer that is basically every time he kills somebody, he carves a letter on their body and plays a game of Hangman with them.
Wait, hold on a second. Are we reviewing Hangman or Zodiac?
Man. Oh.
At the same time, they are being shadowed, I guess, by a reporter played by Brittany Snow.
Oh, hold on a second. More importantly, Hangman was actually in the Twilight series.
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah. And I was like, what? So yeah, that's basically the premise of the movie. I don't know how far you guys want to go into the premise. Do you want to spoil the movie? Do you not?
It's basically the same thing as Zodiac. If you've seen Zodiac, if you've seen Seven, this is pretty much right up there. Just
It's really bad.
I wouldn't say it's really bad.
Okay. It wasn't terrible, but it definitely is not a good movie.
Al Pacino mailed it in.
He knows best, or Carl Urban's for that matter.
Dude, I'm
Carl
sorry.
Urban's full of shit. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, bro, but Al Pacino's accent or whatever the fuck, his cadence of speaking
annoyed me.
this movie annoyed the shit out of me.
Yeah.
It did. It did a little bit. I'm like, he definitely did not. It sounded like he had like a voice coach for like a day, and the voice coach was like, you should try doing this. And he did, and he just happened to work kind of, and he just went like, all right, I got it. I don't need to go over it again. And
either that, or can we finally admit that Al Pacino has no range whatsoever, and let's just let him do what he does best?
Which is?
Just basic mobster. Just let him do basic mob.
Dunkin' Donuts commercial in Jack and Jill was pretty great.
Like, let's be honest. Like his accent in freaking Scarface was shit. His accent here was shit. The man cannot do anything other than action. Let's just let him be what he is. You know, he is that character. He is that taxi driver, you know, kind of esque character always in all his movies. That's all he is. Yes, I know that's not. I know he wasn't a Taxi Driver, but he always plays a character similar to him.
Before you get the hate mail from the listeners being like, he wasn't in Taxi Driver.
I get that was De Niro, but he plays that.
Look the same.
Wait, what'd you say, William?
I said not every old Italian actors look the same.
Yeah, they do. Let's be honest. But anyway, I think this suffered from Island of Dr. Moreau syndrome. You had these two actors that are full of themselves, Carl Urban and Al Pacino, that are like bigger than the name of the director, and these two actors kind of took control of the film, and it turns into shit.
Oh, I didn't know that. Carl Urban is from New Zealand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But he's an asshole.
The array of movies that he's been in already, like Dredd, obviously he was in The Boys, he was in Lord of the Rings,
Star Trek,
Riddick, the Riddick Chronicles. He was in Thor Ragnarok. I don't remember him in Thor Ragnarok.
He's the bald guy, the guy with the fucking machine guns.
He was also Xena Warrior Princess.
He's in what?
He was in Xena Warrior Princess back in 95, 2001.
Oh my god. So, you know what's funny, William, now that you were like, oh yeah, he was in Lord of the Rings, it never fucking dawned on him, on me, sorry, that he's Elwin, right?
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah. Not Elwin, Elmir?
Elmir. Yeah.
I don't know.
Elmir.
I know what you meant.
Thank you. I'm glad you know what I meant, and I'm glad you didn't fucking crucify me for saying the wrong name.
I know you weren't.
Name on Facebook that's called Lord of the Tolkien name
Uh-huh.
or antidepressant.
Dude, it's fucking great.
I mean, I got a 20 out of 24, but there's some which I literally sat there for a minute going, this could be a name of somebody. This could be something you take every day when you get anxiety.
There's actually one that I'm calling bullshit on. It's both, actually. Because it actually is an antidepressant, but it's also a name in Lord of the Rings. So I was like, no, that's not right. You can't mark me off for that. I actually got 24 out of 25 because I was like, fuck you. No, that's both. And I didn't know which one to choose.
Bro, what the fuck? Sorry, we're like going on tangents here. Like, I just looked up Xena. Xena went until 2001?
Yeah, dude.
The fuck?
I think it was, 10 seasons?
No, 6. Well, Hercules, whatever, dude. That's for another fucking tangent.
But I just felt like the director lost control of this movie. Like, it does not feel like there was any kind of direction whatsoever. The organization was all over the place. It's still a fun movie. You just got to put aside the bad performances.
Yes.
Why he does everything and like the ending, didn't like, I don't know, it just felt like it was a big, like, I don't know. He's just like, oh, I see this, I figured it out, which you know within the first 5 minutes of the movie that's what's going to help him figure it out, because there's no reason why they have that shot from inside the van pointing at that one specific thing, and you're like, why would they do that if it's not going to come into play later on?
Yeah.
And then it was just like the payoff at the end. And then they leave it wide open for a sequel. It's been 3 years, no sequel whatsoever.
Yeah. So, I guess can we spoil the movie?
Yeah, go ahead.
Cool.
Well, no. Let's. We don't need to spoil this. Let's be honest.
Okay.
Don't.
It's only like 3 years old, so I'm not gonna.
Okay, at the end, I'm not gonna say what happens, but at the end when he is at the cemetery and he gets that thing from the kid.
Yeah.
My girlfriend was like, why doesn't he just ask the kid who gave him that? I was like, bro, that's really true. That's super true.
I mean, but that's also the same thing that you could say about a lot of horror movies. So, I mean, you know, it's just, you could tell that this script, it was a good script done really badly.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, the dialogue was it was good dialogue. It's just the delivery was shit on both sides.
Yeah,
it was uneven.
Dude, okay. Another thing that like legit bothered me is like when the killer is like shown for the first time. Yeah. And Al Pacino's like it baffled me that Al Pacino did not remember this person. Right? How the fuck do you not remember this person, dude?
Well, I mean, he's a drunk, but still, it's like,
is he really a drunk? Is that a thing?
Oh, yeah, but and I mean, if you get sideswiped, it's not going to be like that big of a deal.
But they stopped the guy. Oh, I know. Okay, you meant like it's not a big deal, so you kind of forget who the person is. Or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, imagine this guy's been a cop for what, like 20, 30 years?
Probably.
So, you know, events like that just kind of like fall into the side, you know? So I get that. It's just...
But the guy's wearing that necklace.
He changed his name, too, so, you know.
I guess, yeah.
I don't know. It's like, okay, also the other thing is like, the film got cut halfway through, and it's like, what was the point of putting the letters up on the board if only 3 people get killed?
Okay, and then
I was like, what the fuck? At least make it fun like Saw and make it like show these cool ways that people died.
Okay, you know? So the word that he's spelling is not spoilery at all, but like, were they saying eviction in Latin?
Yeah. That's what I'm
guessing. Is there even a Latin term for that?
I don't know, probably.
But it was just like, you know, they pan over to the word at the end, and I'm like, huh? I was just so like, what the fuck is going on?
It's like, where did the other letters come from? It's like,
yeah.
You only had 3 letters on the board just a couple minutes ago. How does it jump from 3 letters to what, like 8? It's like, no.
Yeah, it was like
sense.
The word is eviction in Latin. Let's see. I'm gonna actually Google that. Eviction in Latin.
It's just...
Oh my god, it's not even that word!
Wow.
Deductio. Dude! You gotta be fucking kidding me. Holy shit! The word they use doesn't even fucking exist. Get out of here, bro. Get out of here, man. This is so bad.
I mean, it had so much potential. It really had potential to be something good, and it fell into the hands of a least incapable director. And I think also the fact that the studio probably paired up these two big ass egoed actors together to be part of this, because Carl Urban is an asshole, and from what I've heard, Al Pacino's a dick too. So I don't know. I think...
shit! There is a sequel.
Get out of here! Really?
There's a sequel. Yeah, Hangman 2. It came out the year after.
Oh my god! Is it like a direct to DVD shit?
It must
streaming?
be.
Wait, Hangman 2018.
A deranged serial killer, the Hangman, leads police detective Bishop to an emotional and disturbing hunt for the truth behind a recent series of murders. Also starring Pablo Raybould. It's a healthy obsession and warped sense of vindication becomes personal as Bishop must take any means necessary to bring him to justice in time. So basically, it's the same exact movie, different actors.
Yeah, because they couldn't afford Al Pacino the second time.
Well,
yeah, he also died. Spoilers.
Well, yeah, you know what I mean.
By the way, also, since we say he died, his death is so fucking dumb and anticlimactic, but whatever.
Yo, for real.
I'm like, dude, you fell like 3 steps, bro. Get out of here, man.
And they
Get
kind of
outta
MacGuffined that with the fall that he kind of snapped his back time somewhat. You know, that one time that he fell, and it's like, really, are we gonna get these like little? You're not David Fincher. Come on, you're not David Fincher. Let's not even try that.
It's a fun, like, crime movie if you're into that kind of shit. But I'll say this: there are better crime movies than this.
Zodiac.
Yeah, Zodiac, Seven, much better movies.
I mean, this is a movie that this is probably a good, like, somebody that doesn't watch movies all the time.
Yeah.
If you're into something like that, that's a quick action movie that's streaming because Seven and Zodiac aren't. This is a good one. If you're into crime thrillers like Law and Order, this will be a step up from Law and Order.
Isn't Zodiac on Netflix?
Not anymore. I think they took it off.
They took it off?
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks. Okay.
But yeah, like, this is a step up from like Law and Order.
Yeah, I would say that. And it's, if you could get past the weird, not shitty acting, it's just odd the way that Al Pacino acts in this movie. And they
don't mesh well. Like they really don't. Like, they don't phone it in, but they also...
Oh, it's definitely phoned in.
In between them, and it's just kind of like, did I feel anything when Pacino died? No. Did I feel anything when the killer died? No. Did I feel anything when the credits rolled? Yeah, I was happy. But...
So then, that's my thing with my biggest gripe with the movie. It's like they go for that, like, horror movie, like, thing, like, oh, we've killed the killer, but then, you know, the killer always comes back at the end. It's like, but they killed this guy, so who the fuck is this person then? Makes no sense.
It's the same thing as Saw, though. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I guess.
So, I mean, there's always somebody. It's probably the journalist, the little girl, the journalist woman that's coming back and doing the same thing because she got traumatized by the visions she saw.
God.
Yeah, I don't that is it.
Don't make me watch fucking Hangman 2, bro.
Oh, I'm not watching Hangman 2.
Even if you watch Hangman 2, it's not going to matter because it's a completely separate movie. It's not a sequel to this one.
Yeah, is Hangman 2 even streaming on anything?
Somehow,
I don't know. I didn't see it anywhere.
Yeah, no.
All right, so boys, what are your ratings for Hangman then?
I give it a 5.5.
Okay,
I give it a 5.
I give it a 5 also.
Bad. It's entertaining. It makes for a good, I don't know, like throw something on more like background, try to pay attention once in a while kind of thing. But it wasn't like, I'm not going to be like, oh my God, you need to watch this Pacino movie because it's really great. If I were to pick anything recent for Pacino, I would tell people to watch The Hunters.
Or isn't he in I know he's not like one of the main characters, but isn't he in The Irishman?
Yeah. Irishman's boring.
What? Really?
Irishman's a freaking grandfather movie. Let's be honest.
Okay, cool. I thought you liked that movie.
I like it, but let's be honest. It's a grandfather movie. This is a movie that the reason you watch it is because of the star cast, and it's like, okay.
Okay. All right. One more thing that really bothered me about the movie. I thought of it when William was giving his closing thoughts. When they go into the house and the killer has dressed up as a cop, and they start chasing him. Every time he looks over, he does like this weird like glare at them, like, and I'm just like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. You know what I'm talking about?
When he does the Gollum stare?
Yeah, he does the Gollum stare, and he's like, I'm just like, what are you doing? Run, you fucking idiot!
I was waiting for him to turn around, pull out a picture, and be like, "Have you seen this child?" It's like, wow, talk about Terminator 2, anyone, with the helmet and everything,
dude.
And then like he goes through the trouble of like switching out with the cop and everything, and then he's like running off on a fucking dirt bike. Like, really?
Yeah,
like,
it's
all right. That's cool.
Such a weird sequence, but I give it a 5 also. So I guess we all agree that it's like middle of the road.
And
crime.
honestly, I think that this script was a lot better than the way that it was done. I think this is one of those films that should have been like no-name actors, grab no-name actors, get a good director that is known for film noir, known for crime thrillers, and bring them in. Somebody that's stylized, because that's where stylization in a film is actually good in things like this.
Yeah, I can see that. It's just, it was
homework.
The premise was cool, but I felt like it wasn't executed properly.
Agreed. 100%.
And it could have been, I don't know, man. There was just something off about the movie. Like,
there was potential. That's what's
like Al Pacino's accent and the way he talks, Carl Urban looking like he just wants to murder everybody because he has such a manly face.
He just looks like he's PMSing the whole time.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. It could have been done better. There are better crime movies, like we said. Go do yourself a favor. Watch Zodiac. Go watch Seven. Those are much better films.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What do you watch? Law and Order SVU.
Or that show's great. Even though, bro, it baffles me that the show is still going on.
I've seen all of them. Every episode so far.
Dude, what is it? Season fucking 14?
No, I think it's like 16, 17 already.
Law and Order SVU. Wait, before I close out the segment, let's see how many fucking seasons this shit has, or how many episodes. Holy moly, we are both very wrong. 21 seasons, 478 episodes.
Yep.
That is insane. It started 99.
Fun fact, did you know that this is actually a spin-off of not just Law and Order, but it's also a spin-off of Homicide?
So I know there's the normal Law and Order, there's SVU, and then what's the other one that runs also?
What do you call it? Oh my god, I know which one you're talking about. I can't remember. But no, dude, like Homicide it stars the detective that is the conspiracy theorist at the beginning. Like he is the main person, and that's actually, remember in SVU they actually bring up that this detective's from Baltimore and that he worked Homicide. So that series, I think it runs for 4 or 5 seasons, is actually called Homicide, and it ran right before SVU.
Yeah, so current series is the only one going on right now is SVU. The one I'm talking about is Criminal Intent.
There you go. I hated that one.
Criminal Intent.
I like Trial and Jury, which only lasted, I think, like a season or 2.
Yeah, Trial by Jury, yeah.
Trial by Jury. It was actually like real trials, real juries. Like, it was real shit. But it didn't catch on as much as the others. They canceled it.
So, you know what? Go do yourself a favor and go watch Law and Order. Any of them.
And it's on Hulu.
Oh, they are? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know SVU's on Hulu.
Awesome. Perfect. So stay tuned after this quick break when we come at you with Spiel Binge.
As the songs of awakening rang through, the world was created. The silence was broken.
Middle-earth, with its rolling hills, broken mountains, flowing rivers, and beautiful forest, was created.
Cellar Door is a journey into the mythology, the mystery, and the beauty of Middle-earth. Sit back.
Close your eyes.
And imagine.
All right, guys, welcome back for our new, not so new segment, Spill Binge.
Spill Binge.
This is where our lovely guest Zach brings us one Steven Spielberg movie every single week until we finish his lovely filmography. So,
Yes.
Zach, what is the movie today?
Today is the 1989 film Always.
Nice.
I'm going to be quiet again. See you guys in like 20 minutes. I've never seen this movie. Ever.
It's basically like Ghost, but
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
but it's the same exact premise.
Didn't we talk? We talked about this off air last week, didn't we?
Yeah, just minor. Yeah.
Yeah, that you guys referenced it as Ghost, and we were like, did it come out before Ghost?
It did.
No,
Not
it
the
came
year
out
before.
like a month before Ghost. Yeah,
Oh, really? I wonder.
Did it?
just a couple months removed. Yeah,
Oh.
Okay, so since I haven't seen this movie, why is it comparable to Ghost?
so it takes place at an aviary firefighting like squad where Richard Dreyfuss, in his third collaboration with Spielberg, goes up on a dangerous mission and explodes, and Audrey Hepburn grants him the power to come back as a not so spoopy ghost, and he helps another guy fall in love with his former partner, played by Holly Hunter.
And who is the
By the
other
way-
man?
That would be some guy.
And you could tell why Richard Dreyfuss stopped playing with Spielberg after this movie.
Brad Johnson.
Brad Johnson. Need to see who this person is. There's not even a fucking picture of him on Wikipedia. Let's go, baby. So, Lewis, why do you say that this is why Richard Dreyfuss stopped?
I just think that there's some type of weird. I don't know for sure. This is just from what I watched when I saw it again, and it feels like there was something wrong on set. It feels like there's something missing. It doesn't feel like a Spielberg film. It feels out of place, with the exception of like minor little nuances that Spielberg always does. His little key things that he includes. But there's just the chemistry is out of place in this movie, in my opinion. I don't know. What do you guys think?
So before I let you guys in, piggybacking on what you said, that this is like it doesn't feel like a Spielberg movie. I actually have never heard of this movie until you guys mentioned it. And there's been like other Spielberg movies that like I've never watched, but I've heard of them. But Always, I've literally have never heard about it.
Yeah, this one is less than popular.
Yes.
I will always remember. No pun intended. I will always remember this movie.
Wow.
For the record, also, Brad Johnson went on to do the reason why he's not like really famous. He went on to do like apparently he was in the Left Behind series, the one with Kirk Cameron.
Oh boy.
That's why he doesn't have a Wikipedia page.
Popular Wild Things 3. He was in the very well-known Philadelphia Experiment 2, The Birds 2. He became like a very cheesy B-lister movie actor.
Gotcha.
Damn, what a fall. How do you go from leading a Spielberg romantic... Like, all right.
But I will always remember this because, again, 1989, we're talking, I was 9 years old, living in Belgium. My mom at the time, or actually throughout her life, she has not gone to the movies very often. But I remember me and her were supposed to go watch, I think it was like a My Little Pony movie or whatever with my sister.
Oh my God.
I don't remember. But
Of course,
we
you went
ended
to
up
watch My
going
Little Pony.
in the wrong theater.
It's the Care Bears movie, dude.
Oh wait, no, actually, no. You're right. I'm sorry. It was the Care Bears. You're
I knew
right.
it.
You're right.
fucking knew
We
it.
were supposed to go watch the Care Bears because my little sister wanted to go watch the Care Bears, and what she wanted, she got. And we ended up going to the wrong movie theater by accident, and we didn't realize it until the plane. You see, like the opening scene of like the plane grabbing up the water and then flying up, and we're like, "This is not animated. We may be in the wrong movie theater." So we got up and we went to and then when we finally did go see it, "Smoke Gets in Your Eyes" is one of my mom's all-time favorite songs. It's kind of like the Unchained Melody theme song of this movie. This is why I always say this, like, oh, Ghost, like, I feel like Ghost is a ripoff of this because Ghost came out like 7 months later, but you know, it's still kind of like the guy dies, there's the theme music, he helps her find, you know, the closure and be able to move on. It's like, I don't know, I just feel like Ghost became more popular.
In fairness, Always is itself a remake of a 1943 movie.
It is.
So this like premise has kind of been floating around, and it's a Dalton Trumbo movie at that. So,
if I'm not mistaken, in the early 80s or mid 80s, Bill Cosby did Ghost Dad, which again is very much like this movie where he dies and then he looks over his family.
So Zach, what do you think of Always? Since you've heard our crazy shenanigans, what are your thoughts on this movie?
It's all right. It wasn't bad. I wasn't crazy about it. It was a little slow, but I mean, it's all right.
How long is this movie? 123 minutes.
2 hours, yeah.
And it feels like it.
Yeah.
Are the performances at least good?
Ted Danson. No, I'm sorry. Wow, Ted Danson. My bad. Jesus. John Goodman. Wow. You know, the other Ted Danson. John Goodman is actually like, he seems very Goodman-like. Like he seems like he was in his element.
And he's not John Goodman. He's not underrated. He's just underappreciated. Like we take for granted that we have John Goodman.
Mm-hmm.
Is it like when did Roseanne come out? 88. Yeah. So this is around the time that he's like high and mighty on Roseanne. Very John Goodman.
Yeah.
Like
love that guy. Have you guys seen 10 Cloverfield Lane? He's freaking amazing in that.
Dude, you know what you should watch, Zach? Actually, I think this is like one of those movies that you will adore. Is Matinee? It's a 1993 film.
Okay, I'll check it out.
It is about him basically doing like an Alfred Hitchcock during the Cold War.
Oh, all right.
And he is this film director that's trying to push the bounds of like field technology. So he tries to install things in the theater to make the experience that much more.
Okay.
But it takes place in Key West during the Cold War. And
is it actually shot there?
Yes, it's actually shot there. And oh my God. Zach, are you a fan of Star Trek?
Yeah.
So Ricardo, what do you call it? Picardo?
He's Khan.
Yes.
Ricardo Montalban.
No, what do you call it? The Doctor in Voyager.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Picardo. He is actually the owner of the theater. And he's like this paranoid, like bomb shelter building in the basement type of thing, in the bottom of the theater type of thing. And oh my God, it is glorious.
I will check that out. I'm always down for a good Goodman.
Yeah,
he is John Goodman.
One of my personal Goodman movies is also King Ralph, which came out in '91. Don't know if you guys have seen it or
no.
I'm not familiar with it. No.
Basically, he is like just run-of-the-mill guy. And you find out that because there was no direct kin for some kind of like dukedom or whatever, he's brought to England. And basically, imagine if Roseanne's husband all of a sudden became king.
Yeah.
Or duke or somewhere. Like, that's basically the premise. Like, he's like this white collar or blue collar guy, and
that's what I'm saying. Like
the royalty. Huh?
We take him for granted. He keeps cranking these out, and I love that guy.
Yeah. Oh, so dude, he always plays, and he's also in most of the Coen Brothers films. So that in itself is like, God, so Barton Fink.
Is he the best I guess, performance in Always, or
Sure. I mean, Holly Hunter's really good. I mean, Richard Dreyfuss is a little off. You're right there, but yeah, John Goodman, he's the like comic relief best friend, and he's really good. He's really solid. He got a lot of laughs out of me. He got a lot of chuckles.
Okay.
It's the part. He's the character that keeps the hook going. Every 20 minutes or so in the movie, he's the one that hooks you back into the movie.
And I gotta
because
say,
you might fall asleep sometimes.
Yeah, story-wise, I do understand why they chose this plot to remake, because apparently it really stuck with both Spielberg and Dreyfuss. Because it's an interesting take on a ghost story. It's an interesting interpretation on, especially pre-Ghost. It is an interesting view of like what happens after.
Do we get anything close to the pottery scene in Ghost?
Toward the end, we get a nice scene between the two of them, actually.
Yeah, when they're underwater.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the closest thing, though. It's kind of like a mixture of like the pottery scene. Well, I guess like the pottery scene is also more when she's dancing in the white dress by herself, and he's there, and she doesn't know that he's there. That's got like really much of a connection, and then like the end scene where she can actually see him.
Now, I gotta say, I had not seen this movie, and I had not heard of this movie prior to collecting all of Spielberg's movies. And so I did go in semi-blind. I knew a little bit about it, and I was like, I think ghosts, but I'm not sure. And so when 40 minutes deep, the protagonist exploded, I was like, oh! That's interesting.
So wait, that doesn't happen like right? Because
no, we're 40 minutes deep when he.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, in Ghost, Patrick Swayze dies pretty like early in the film, right?
He dies about 30 minutes in, 20 to 30 minutes in.
Yeah.
Really?
Spielberg tries to do this thing where he tries to do that Hitchcockian a feel to this movie, where he's actually trying to push the suspense further and further along, giving you those little like aha moments and like trying to catch you off guard.
Yeah, he does.
But he doesn't do a good job with it.
He dies in a very like wink fashion of like, oh, the tension was relieved, and then boom, here it comes. I mean, the action sequences in it were really engaging. When they're putting out fires, when they're flying in their planes, stuff like that. All that was really cool.
Okay.
Like it's not a bad movie. It's just a slow moving. Yeah.
All right. So with all the shit that I give it, it's honestly not a bad movie. It's just a bad Spielberg movie.
Yes.
Okay. So what are your round up your thoughts? All three of you, since you've seen it. How would you to close out this segment? What would you say about Always, each of you?
I still think 1941 is his weakest.
Really?
Yes. This is a close second. This is a close second, but those were the two least Spielberg-y to me. Those were the two off notes so far.
Oh, it's definitely off note, but yeah, I like 1941. I would probably put this one probably dead last. Honestly, this is closely followed by Color Purple.
Okay.
So I mean, and then right after that, Amistad, which.
Hey, no spoilers. Haven't gotten there yet.
But no, I would probably give this a 5 because it is still it's a decent enough film. It's just not Spielberg's best.
Wow. Zach. Lewis actually gave a movie a 5, a mediocre 5. Didn't shit on the movie, gave it a 5 though.
I imagine
making progress.
I imagine if I saw this on its initial release in theaters, I would be satisfied.
You think so?
I don't think I would be disappointed by it. I think it's only when compared to, like, because this is a little less than the midway point of his filmography.
Yeah.
And so I think it's just, like, he had so many hits that in retrospect, it's more of a sour note.
I scratched that. This is not dead last. I'm sorry. I forgot about the latter half of Spielberg's career. Sorry. Scratch that. I don't know where I'd put this.
Baby. War Horse. Sorry.
Hey,
War
Horse, man.
That's dead
Yeah,
last.
that was gonna be dead last. It's got the horse in it, so you know Lewis is gonna be like, "Fuck this movie, it's trash."
And Bruce is gonna make another compilation.
Here we go. So, did you give a rating, Zach?
I'm gonna say 6, 7 or so.
6 or 7. Okay, and William, what are your closing thoughts on Always?
It's a good prequel to Ghost.
Yep.
I'm still gonna sit on that one. I will agree, not Spielberg's best, but definitely enjoyable to a point. Definitely slow, and I'll go with Zach on the 6 on this one. It's it's middle of the road, definitely enjoyable. It makes for a good date movie. Like, honestly,
Okay.
it's it's sit on the couch, sit back, watch. Some scenes you don't really have to pay attention to, so that's where the date part kicks in.
It's like Cocoon. You could watch it with your grandparents or your older what do you call it?
I mean,
Parents.
if you were going on a date with your grandparents, Louis, that's on you. I'm going to keep my date grandparent less, but that too.
I'm saying like
I don't know,
for
I'd date your
Mother's Day
grandma.
or for Father's Day, it's a good.
Wait, does Zach just say you date a grandma? I hear everything, and I just hear I date a grandma. I'm like, wow.
Me, you go get that gilf. You go get that gilf.
It's like
I guess Always is middle of the road. Spielberg, not great, not bad.
But it's a great make-out movie with a grandma.
On that
Perfect.
note,
It will
Perfect movie to
always
just
be-
put on.
Yes.
Yeah.
on
I think
that
we can
note,
all agree on that.
know
what
about
is the
that.
movie for next week? Zach?
Last Crusade.
Woo!
Yay!
Wait, I thought William, you were
Best
going to say
Indiana Jones movie.
the last Indiana Jones movie, according
Yes.
to you, not according to me, but that's for
The
another.
last Indiana Jones movie. But
Nope.
we will get back.
We'll get there. No spoilers.
As always, thank you, Zach.
Thank you.
And stay tuned after this quick break when we come at you never live with the final segment of our show, the individual reviews.
Spielberg.
All right, guys, welcome back for the final segment of our show, the individual reviews. William is going to be going first.
All right. So I ended up watching a whole bunch of stuff this past week, from movies and shows and catching up on some more seasons. After almost a year, me and the girlfriend have sat down and finally caught up on season 2 of Succession. Which, if you've seen season 1, season 2, really good on HBO. But I stumbled upon a 2004 TV series, which I guess only aired in Canada and the UK back then. It's now available on Amazon Prime, and it's called 0 Hour. It is 3 seasons, although on Amazon there's only 2 of them. The third one is not available to us, I guess, at this time. It is shot in documentary-style way, but it also uses a lot of, when available, it uses a lot of actual footage. And basically the premise is the 60 minutes leading up to a event that impacted the world, whether positively or negatively, mostly negatively. But, for example...
So it's like 24.
Well, yes, but it's just like, nobody's trying to avoid it. It's just like the events that led to it, like what caused it or what happened before. Like some of the episodes are Disaster at Chernobyl, Massacre at Columbine High, Terror in Tokyo and the Bali bombing, the capture of Saddam Hussein, the King of Cocaine, that's obviously Pablo Escobar, the sinking of the Estonia, the Columbia Space Shuttle disaster, a royal massacre, and SAS Mission Impossible. I believe that's all of season 1. Yes. And it has 3 different narrators, which is David Morrissey of The Walking Dead and Doctor Who, Paul McGann of Doctor Who and Luther, and Sean Pertwee of Gotham and Elementary, and he's the son of John Pertwee, who's one of the doctors. Obviously they're all an hour long because it's 60 minutes. It's not always 60 minutes because obviously they have to set it up, they have to talk about it. But it is definitely interesting. Again, I know I'm like on this whole history kick apparently because I'm just realizing this is, I think, like my second in 3 weeks about historical facts and events and documentaries, which I'm talking about. But it definitely I binge watched all of season 1. It was like, okay, this is pretty cool. And again, you can sit back, enjoy. You can do other things also and listen to it as background, so you're not stuck having to watch everything unless you really want to see, like I said, like this footage. There's, from news cameras to people's phones to CCTV, like all sorts of like different things. And it makes for a good, like you said, it was like almost like 24 or like up to something. But obviously it's all based on real facts. It's all based on things that have happened throughout the world, and it's very well done. It's very detailed. There's a lot of interviews with people that were there as well, so that you get not just a narration of the events, but you get first person. The people that were talking about it, first person views. There was one where there was I don't know if you guys remember, there was a massive shooting at a bank heist a while back where over thousands and thousands of ammo had been shot. Like these 2 guys walked out in full Kevlar, and it was like news choppers and whatnot, and there were about like almost 50 to 60 cops trying with handguns trying to take down these 2 bank robbers that had metal armor underneath, and it was all caught live on television and there's reenactments and whatnot.
Where was this at?
Huh?
Where was that it happened?
I want to say it was in California that it happened. We're talking like the 90s.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Because ironically enough,
the guys had barrel drums. They had like AKs with like barrel magazines.
Absolutely. Yeah. That is exactly what I'm talking about.
I know what you're
ironically enough, like we just Naomi and myself just went on like a little mini vacation, and we ended up in Sebring, and right across from the hotel was this bank that there was actually this robbery, and they tore down the bank and they built a memorial because the 4 people inside the bank were actually killed. And it was like armed guns and stuff, gunners and stuff like that. And like there was SWAT team that came in and all. That's why when you said that, I was like, what? Hold on a second. And it was actually in Sebring. It was 2019. So it just happened recently. And we saw the memorial and we're like, holy crap, this is crazy. I didn't even hear about this.
Holy shit.
Was it Los Angeles that you were saying?
Yeah, actually, it looks like, I'm sorry I misspoke before. It looks like all 3 seasons are available. They just took season 2 and season 3 and made it 1 season on Amazon. Because what I'm talking about is the North Hollywood Shootout, which happened on February 28th, 1997.
Yeah, the Dunbar armored robbery. It's the largest cash robbery to have occurred in the United States.
Yeah, wow. And I'm sorry, I also downplayed the police involvement. They engaged over 300 LAPD officers in a shootout in North Hollywood, Los Angeles. Jesus. Both robbers were killed. Well, I mean, one was killed, one committed suicide. But
actually, I don't know. Maybe no, the North Hollywood shooting. Oh, yeah. Okay, so it's not the Dunbar one. It's the North Hollywood shootout.
Yeah, the North Hollywood. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No. That was my apology because I said it was the Dunbar one. And I was wrong.
Over 2,000 rounds of ammunition were fired by the robbers.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it was the cops.
Robbers.
It is LA.
And, like, miraculously enough, except like the robbers were the only 2 people to die. Like none of the cops got injured, cops got shot, but none of them died from wounds or anything like that.
I think if I remember correctly,
like right out of the movie Heat, kind of like if you remember that scene.
Yeah,
and it was just unreal because people thought for a while that they were shooting a movie, and then they realized no, this is real.
Yeah, I remember if I remember correctly, if it's the same situation. I've seen like documentaries on it where like they were literally just walking down the street. They had Kevlar armor and they were just firing rounds out of a fucking AK with a drum mag. So this thing had like hundreds of bullets, and they're just there, dot dot dot, like just like walking nonchalantly down the road.
Yeah,
what were they firing at?
Into them,
at
like
the cops. Probably the cops
wearing Kevlar.
Yeah.
Cops were shooting into them, and these guys were like
heavily armored.
Like they turned around and looked at them like, you rang? Like it was like fighting Iron Man. Like if you've seen the original Iron Man movie when he's coming out of the cave and the bullets are just flying off of him, this is exactly what happened. Cops were like firing their guns and they were like, oh, you have my attention now. I think I'll empty out the drum in your direction. And you hope that you can run and double jump. But like I said, if you're, if you're in a history kick, if you're a historian, if you like stuff like this and like to hear depictions and stories from the people that were there, 0 Hour, apparently all 3 seasons. I think it's a total of like 20 episodes at most on Amazon Prime. I give it a good 8 out of 10. It was definitely up there, kept my... Like I said, I ended up binge-watching an entire season without even realizing because I'm like, oh, what's next? Let's do this. So give it a try. Give it a look and see if, there's also one where it's like Flight 11, which is one of the flights that went into one of the World Trade Center. Mm-hmm. So there's literally from all around the world. There isn't just like, America, and let's just cover America. Because this is Canadian and UK. They're like, yeah, we'll cover you, but we're also in the rest of the world. Branden, I believe you're next.
I am next.
What you got?
I'm going to be reviewing Endgame. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm going to be reviewing...
a family-friendly movie.
No. I'm actually going to be reviewing a documentary film that I saw thanks to my girlfriend. I didn't know that this movie existed. She kind of just watched it on Netflix. And that is a documentary by the name of Have a Good Trip, Adventures in Psychedelics.
Yes! I'm so happy you're doing this.
This was a blast, honestly. So for anyone that hasn't watched it, it's on Netflix. It's about an hour and a half. Hour and 20 minutes.
About traveling.
And it has basically the documentary is about a bunch of actors and actresses. But
let's be honest, the best one is Carrie Fisher.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. And when she's like, there's been a disturbance in the force, and she's like, and she makes herself laugh. I was like, Carrie Fisher, we don't deserve you, man. I swear to God.
I fucking love that. I sent that. Did I send that to you guys or did I send it to Naomi? I don't remember.
I think you sent it to us because I saw it on Facebook literally the day of, not knowing where it was from. And then like that night, I sit down with my girlfriend. She puts it on, and I'm like, oh my God, this is from here.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Real quick, talking about Carrie Fisher. If you like her, like that kind of comedy for her,
yeah.
I don't know if you guys seen her or not. There's an HBO stand-up special that she did literally months before she passed away.
No, I didn't.
Which is like her last like in-person performances. I have to look up what the name is, but it's basically her talking about her life leading up to and past Star Wars and her marriage and her drugs, and it is Carrie Fisher at her best, unplugged, uncensored. It is great, and you will laugh your ass off. Even if you don't like stand-up, give this a try. I will look up the name and hopefully have it in time, but anyway, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It stars a bunch of people. You have Sting, A$AP Rocky, Sarah Silverman, fucking Anthony Bourdain, Nick Offerman, Adam Scott, a bunch of people, and they
Rosie
just talk,
Perez.
Yeah, like they just talk about their.
You have a bunch of people that you're not surprised are on this.
Yeah, exactly. A bunch of
and then you have Bill. What do you call it? Ben Stiller.
Yes,
That's the
dude.
only like kind of like, huh? Why is he
Dude,
on here?
You know what's funny? I think I watched the documentary the day his dad died.
I know. I was gonna talk about it last week when we recorded, and I was like, I refrained from doing it because of that.
Yeah,
Let me wait.
I was like, this is so creepy because I didn't know that Ben Stiller was in the documentary, and then I see him and he talks about his dad, like calling his dad up and like, you know, telling his dad like, Dad, I'm fucking tripping out. I don't know what to do. And
Zoolander, though.
Honestly, the documentary is a really, really good time. It's really cool to see everybody's different reactions. Some of them didn't have a good time with it. Some of them had great times with it. Sting is like this fucking guy that like sees Mother Earth like Gaia. Sting is like on a whole nother level of like being woke.
Sting has always been ahead of his time when it came to like
So, question.
Yeah.
Have any of you guys ever tried psychedelics?
I have not, no. And the reason
I have not, but my next trip down to Florida, I mean, I may or may not know allegedly some people that may or may not have some and intrigued enough to try it in a very safe environment. Maybe not, possibly, but we'll come back to it.
So I have a friend that used to do shrooms and acid all the time. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you, this documentary is pretty on point. Like this is, I love how they refer to, what you see in movies, that's not how it really is tripping. Like the one scene and the only time that I think has ever gotten it right, and as much as I hate to reference this movie because of the over the topness it is, mm-hmm. is Fear and Loathing, and it is fucking true. That scene where the carpet is melting and stuff like that, that's exactly how it is. And I just remember seeing this little bubble in the roof falling, and it popped, and it just started dripping in the middle of the classroom. And
of course,
I'm sorry, my friend.
Look, the documentary is a ton of fun. Every time one of the actors and actresses goes and tells their story, they do it. The documentary goes into like an animated form, and they kind of try to visualize what they're describing, and it's a lot of fun. And then the part with the acorn, I don't know if you guys remember.
Yes.
It's just a really good time, and the whole segment with Adam Scott with the whole like propaganda, like with the guitar riff, the
oh my god, it's so good.
It's just so stupid.
The afternoon special.
Yes, it's so stupid and funny. I guess the only problem is that if you want more of an information of like, I guess like a more scientific look at psychedelics, this is probably not the documentary for you. But if you come at it just wanting to hear stories of different actors and actresses and all that stuff, like talking about their experiences with it, you'll have a blast with it. It was a ton of fun. I was so pleasantly surprised. I was like, a documentary about acid, this is probably going to be boring. And by the hour and 20 mark, I was like, this is pretty good. I like it.
And the what do you call it? What's his name? Pretending to be the scientist at the beginning.
Nick Offerman,
yeah. Oh my god, that was fucking great. That
Dude,
was so good.
My favorite one was just hearing Anthony Bourdain talk about his experience. When he thinks that the lady has died, I was like, bro. Honestly, really good time. It's awesome.
It's
like
fun stories. Man.
It's really fun stories. You have like these really nice like animated sequences of trying to so that the director can show you what this person is talking about, and it's cool. It always grabs your attention.
I think the animation style was more like what do you call it? Yellow Submarine from the Beatles.
Yes,
it feels very much like that, and obviously they're drawing influence from that for obvious reasons.
By the way, Fisher stand up. It's called Wishful Drinking.
Wishful Drinking. That's definitely.
What is your favorite Carrie Fisher movie besides Star Wars?
Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
The Burbs, 100%. The Burbs. Oh my god, The Burbs.
Honestly, just that sequence, like hearing Carrie Fisher just talk about her being on a beach
Dude,
high out of her
was
fucking
so-
mind, and then she literally says, "I felt a disturbance in the force." Makes herself laugh, tells the person, "Don't put that in the movie."
Yeah.
I was like, Carrie Fisher, you are a beautiful woman.
Honestly,
Honestly,
she's talking to the acorn. That is the best part that she did.
oh my god!
That-
Honestly, I give it an 8.5. It was a blast.
I fucking loved it too.
A
I'd
really,
give it a
really
9.
fun time.
9 out of 10. I loved it.
William, what do you give it?
I give it a good like 8.5, 9 out of 10. Like it was definitely interesting. It was definitely like a different. It was a different topic than what we're used to.
Yeah.
Like, you don't find movies that are pro psychedelic.
Yeah.
Like this one is. Usually it's like drugs are bad and gay. But I also like the fact that it's like we're not going to sugarcoat shit. And some of us, most of us, had a very good positive experience. But here's some of us that didn't, because we want people to know that it's not for everyone. It's not always a good trip. And we don't want you going in it and then going, oh. So I liked how very, like, they pulled the curtain. You know what I mean? Like, they're like, this is what it is. And this is what you may experience. And
They did a good job tugging the line.
Yeah.
Huh?
What's up? William?
They did a good job tugging the line, honestly.
Yes, that's what I didn't hear. That's why I'm like, what? And then we went silent.
Excuse me? Yeah, honestly, fuck off. So it was a good Lewis, round it out, bud. What's your review?
All right. So William and I both watched
By the way,
this.
let me preface this by saying you're welcome, because I talked about this on the 100th episode before it even got released. So you're welcome.
Yes.
Anyway, go on.
So what he's referring to is prop culture. This is actually streaming on Disney Plus, and I literally messaged the boys earlier today, and I was like, I got a tear in my eye. I grew a heart. It was like the Grinch moment. I grew a heart, brother.
Dude, I was at Target doing groceries.
You already had a heart to start with.
I was at Target doing groceries, and I was like, my cousin is such a pussy. It's okay. I'm just messing. I'm messing.
Dude, but this is literally a movie for film lovers. This series,
It's not a movie, it's a show.
Yeah,
Whatever,
yeah.
you know what I meant.
He meant show.
This series actually delves deep into not just the props, but the love of these props. This is done with such delicacy and such care that I had to bring it up on the show. There's no way not to. It goes into Mary Poppins, Tron, The Nightmare Before Christmas, Pirates of the Caribbean, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, The Chronicles of Narnia, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and The Muppet Movie. And it basically follows this guy that decides to basically uncover and try to bring all these props that are lost from these films, because pre like 1985 90s, props weren't saved from movies. They were recycled and used for other films or rehashed, and that's why you see like sets redone so many times, like especially westerns.
I'm surprised that like Pirates of the Caribbean and Chronicles of Narnia, because those movies are what, 20 years old max, not even.
I know. I was kind of the Pirates one was interesting because it wasn't more about the props, but it was about what they did in the film that was actually practical. And that was actually interesting because they had real ships in the movies. Those weren't CG.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Or they were miniatures, which was really fucking cool. And then Chronicles of Narnia, all the stuff, all the outfits and everything, even some of the creatures like the minotaurs and stuff like that, that was actually practical, which I didn't know that. And
I have to rewatch the Chronicles of Narnia, dude.
Yeah, I mean, this
was good.
Yeah, the first one is the best one, and this is the props from the first one.
The first one, the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Exactly. Yeah. And actually, the props were actually done by Weta Workshop, so... Anyways, moving on. It just goes through all the fun, like, iconic actors that were in these movies. It brings the props to these actors so they could kind of like indulge in reminiscing about their films and all the fun stories that came out of the film and that particular prop. And I just loved it. Especially the Mary Poppins one. The Mary Poppins one brought a tear to my eye. I was legit emotional towards like the beginning of the episode. It just, and they were playing the music in there, and it just hit a chord so like beautifully. And I love Dick Van Dyke and just the stuff that they were bringing up about Dick Van Dyke and the props that they were bringing out, and just the love that they put into that one episode in particular was just glorious. And they do kind of toot Walt Disney's horn for about 5 seconds, and I'm glad it's only for 5 seconds, and it's not like a jerk fest like some other documentaries on Disney Plus about the Disney. And it was only like that quick 5 minutes and done. Bye. And they moved on. But honestly, it was really good. This is a 10 out of 10. I fucking love this.
Wow.
William,
Okay.
how about you?
I mean, I absolutely love stuff that has to do behind the scenes. Ever since I was younger, like even when they had him in the all VHS tapes, which was very rare, but whenever they did, and then especially when DVDs first kicked off, they were talking. You know, they were like always like the little featurettes, like behind the scenes and bloopers and talking to the directors and this and that. I dwelled in those. I loved them. I strived for those. I would just sit and listen. There were times where I would watch a movie and then watch it again right away, but with like the director talking or the actors talking or the producer, because I'm like, I want to hear about this. And my parents were like, you literally just watched this. Why are you watching it again? And people are talking. Why are they talking? Why are people talking about the movie? What is going on? How are you doing? I'm like, Mom, Dad, it's okay. Sit down. It's a thing. I'll talk to you when I'm done. Leave me alone. So when the moment they announced prop culture was going to happen, and I read about it, I'm like, this is going to be amazing. Because they're going to bring, and at the time, I didn't even know what they were bringing back. I knew they were going to do Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, because it was like the main picture whenever whenever I saw the article. So I'm like, obviously they're doing this. And the fact that he actually got Rick Moranis to come and sit down for an interview and talk to him about the movie, and then he shows him they found half the machine, and they were able to recreate it based on the movie and how it was, and also
with the original parts
he wears, and it's just like, oh my god, like this man, and like you can see him just kind of like, holy crap, like the history going through his eyes, same as like, and I forget her name, and I am so sorry, the older lady Mary Poppins, which was the quote-unquote choreographer of the Penguins.
Yes.
And the host brings out one of the original chimney sweeps, and she's like, oh my god, can I touch it? And one of the things just falls off. She's like, I'm keeping this. Little strand that is from the movie, and then you see like the Mary Poppins bag. Like, talk about childhood. Talk about like, oh my god, I grew up with this, and now it's like right there. I can only imagine being that guy, like seeing it going, holy shit! Like
when they see the carousel and they actually, oh dude, that just, it hit the feels when they were playing the song. Oh my god, and then song.
Roger Rabbit, like the guy that was inspired Roger Rabbit with like the
dude,
which I can't do it. That's the closest I'll get. But it's just like, oh my god, this show. I am hoping, and if they are, looking forward to season 2 already.
I hope so. I really hope so.
More Disney movies that I would love for them to go backstage and be like, and I know Louis is going to be like, oh my God, I would love for him to do like the original Iron Man and, you know, have like the original suit just standing right there in front, or Captain America with the original shield. Or, you know, like Disney is like so wide and widespread now. It's like, dude, do the Mighty Ducks and bring back the skates and the
yes.
and,
Oh yeah.
and, you know, it's like, oh, like I mean, they announced that they're doing the Mighty Ducks. What is it, like? I think it's a series. Bombay is coming back. It's like, dude, promote that. Talk about that. Hell, I know it's on a Disney movie before everybody starts writing comments about it. But I would love them to be like, you know what? We're going to make an exception. We're going to do Sandlot. Hell yes. Give me Sandlot. Oh, bring me back to that field where they did that, because I like to believe that that field is real and it's still there somewhere in middle of nowhere America, and kids are still playing on it, not realizing what they're playing on, and it's like amazing. But
what was your favorite episode out of it?
I don't think I can pick an episode, because to me it's the moments.
Yeah.
You know, to me, like I said, it's the older lady looking and seeing the chimney sweep. It's the kids being brought back in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids when they see the ant face.
Oh, dude,
to me,
Andy.
it's Rick Moranis looking at that. To me, it's the lady that is explaining to him that Jack Sparrow's hat was actually rubber because they got tired of it always ending up in water and having to redo one every time. So they're like, screw it. We're doing it in rubber so it floats and we don't have to do it ever again. And then seeing Jack Sparrow's original jacket from the first movie, and she's just sitting there, and you can feel the love that she's just giving this object, because it's like, if any listener has ever done anything in a movie in a long while, especially if you were in props, obviously, or if you were in costuming, and somebody brings you back even like a little thing like, hey, you remember this? You cannot help but sit there and be like, oh my God.
Especially if you're a fan. If you're a fan of movies, like, I love collecting things from movies, and I wish I had the money to actually collect original props.
Like, I want to travel with this guy just because I want to be behind the scenes and be like, I'm this close. I'm this far away from the original Mary Poppins, whatchamacallit, the snow globe, which was found in a janitor's closet because somebody had tossed it.
And the janitor loved it. He wanted to keep it.
Oh, this is cool. I'll leave it in my closet. And it's like, that's an original piece. And it's now sitting on the piano. Oh my God, watching one of the original composers of Mary Poppins play with the snow globe right there, which, if you've seen Saving Mr. Banks, you know that there's a whole thing back there. If you haven't seen Saving Mr. Banks, it is on Disney Plus. Watch it. It's the whole story of Mary Poppins. It's not a great story because, but just seeing a composer of songs that we all grew up on, and this guy was one of two people to write it, and the only person left alive on Earth allowed to play that specific piano in that room.
Yep.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, So I give this definitely a coveted 10 out of 10, because whoever came up with this and the way that it was filmed and the way that it was done, it is beautiful. Again, they're like 45 minutes to 50-minute episodes, so it's not like they're
30 minutes each.
I didn't know.
Yeah, they're 30 minutes. But dude, they're packed. Like, you think that William just covered all the main events of it? That's not even a quarter of the events that actually happened on the series. It is extremely packed with glorious moments in this. So yeah, definitely go out and check it out. They're each 36 minutes. I'm on Disney Plus right now, and it's 36 minutes each.
Okay.
But all right. So for next week, boys and girls, we are going to be choosing between two quarantine movies. I call them quarantine movies because they're limited storytelling. They're both very very focused film. It's very limited movements and all that stuff. First one is Darren Aronofsky's Pi.
Okay.
Second one is Locke, which stars Tom Hardy, Luscious Lips himself.
Where's each of those streaming?
Amazon Prime, both of them.
Amazon Prime, both of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know I've heard of Locke. I don't think I've heard of the other one.
Oh, Pi is Darren Aronofsky, the Black Swan, Requiem for a Dream, all that stuff. It's actually his first film.
Yeah. It's in black and white, right?
I'm batting 500 when it comes with him because I absolutely loved Requiem for a Dream, but I wasn't a big fan of Black Swan. So this will make me either 66% for or 66% against. We'll find out if it wins, but we'll find out.
Sweet.
Awesome. So again, if you enjoy our show, check out our other stuff. Go to manbitesfilm.com, our sister site, diverselygeek.org, and of course, our brother from another mother, John, over at YouTube at Narcotic Casserole, and also check out Lewis's other show because he's cheating on us. Yes. Movie Mainline. So if you want to hear a bunch of cinema snobs like myself, please join us over there. If you want to talk about Pornhub and everything in between. Pornhub?
Yes. It is great cinematic beauty in it.
Okay. Yeah, if you want to hear more, I guess, cohesive thoughts about film that doesn't include me and my main man, William, definitely listen to... And you like my cousin who's an asshole, then listen to Movie Mainline. Hopefully Bruce and Greg are keeping you in line, No. Hopefully. No? Okay. Awesome. So, and of course, go to our Facebook and vote for the 2 movies for next week.
Yes. We hold the voting actually 24 hours, so please go onto the Facebook page and vote.
Yes, sir. As always, thank you, William.
You are very welcome, sir.
Thank you, Lewis.
Thank you, Brandon.
As always, I am Brandon, and we'll see you guys on the next episode of Man Bites Film. Cue the drums.